Hey. How is everyone doing? You guys alright?
Yeah. All good.
Great.
That is good.
All
I
time.
can see that Josh Pedro has a trim.
Josh Pedro has a trim.
What is that? What's
A
up
little
with that?
lockdown
How does
trim.
this trim
The freshest
in
of
lockdown?
trims.
What's going on?
The freshest
This
of
is
trims.
uncle.
How have you done that?
I did.
It's a sticky one.
Next question. Yeah, that's.
Oh.
No
Oh,
comment.
wow.
Plead the
Wow.
fifth.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Doesn't want to
I
share
didn't-
his
I didn't
lockdown
go-
secrets.
I didn't go to any barber. Let me just say that. I didn't.
No,
go.
Are you
we
sure,
believe you.
Josh?
We
Are you
believe
sure?
Yes.
He's got a friend in
I
the
didn't go to a
family. I'm
barber
pretty
shop.
sure that's what it is.
Is it like an uncle or something?
Maybe.
To be fair, I got my hair cut, and it's not too bad.
I didn't. But I'm not showing that. I'm not
Alexander's
showing that.
dying under the hat.
I feel like this is the time where being a girl's lucky, because girls only get their hair cut, what, like every couple of months?
Yeah, but
Exactly,
for example,
right.
if a girl has like blonde hair that's been dyed and she naturally has brown hair, it's gonna be like brown to here, blonde all the way down
Yeah, but you could buy a
for
hair
months.
dye.
Yeah, but then you could ruin your hair.
True.
It's a
true.
dilemma.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
I want
true.
it cut short. I want it to get cut short, so I'm just waiting.
Oh yeah, there was that one week.
Can't you just like do that yourself?
There was that one week where Beth like
Just,
had
like,
her
get
hair a
scissors
certain
and-
way.
She
so
tucked her
everyone
hair
thought-
back.
We all thought she'd had her
trick
hair cut,
everyone.
and I was like, "What's going
It was
on?"
like
It was so funny. You were so
Like,
confused.
well,
trickster.
in the meeting, just
We're,
a small
we're so
bit.
glad that you could join us tonight. Why don't you hit like on the video? That would really help us out. We really appreciate that. And as we spoke about last week we started our brand new series called Fear Not. And one of the points was that we have to step out with faith. and face our fears, right? And so I know that inviting your mates to youth is a little bit scary, but I want to encourage you right now. Let's choose to be bold and courageous tonight, and hit share. I want you to just either send it to a few of your friends. You can send it to all of your friends, one friend, send it to your mum, whoever it is. I want to encourage you right now, take a moment of faith and just be like, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to invite my friend and hope that as they watch youth, they meet God, God changes their life forever, and they're with me chilling in heaven. Yeah. So hit the share button. We'd love for everyone just to come in, come watch. And last week we started off by doing our TikTok of the Week challenge. We did. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask you guys who are on the screen, if you guys can just black out your cameras, because this is a bit bougie, but I'm going to put the video up and it's not the best way of doing it. But here is our TikToks of the week. Here it is, the moment that you've all been waiting for, our extraordinary youth jump scares. Have a look right now.
What's going on? Oh my days, not now. Wow.
Oh my gosh, why did you do that? Oh my god.
Gotcha!
Oh my god, why did you...
Oh yeah, there's my camera.
We've got to turn the camera back on, people.
I think Josh thought that we'd all disappeared and was like, what's going on?
What is happening? I heard it in the
Oh
background.
no.
There he is. I've got to
Oh,
train you
We had
too.
some
It was just
Pedro
Josh's
commentary
voice
in the
behind
background.
the video, like, oh no.
Pedro, what was going on that second time? Was your brother in on it? Is that why it was so funny?
Basically, the second time, because the first time I got my brother, then my other brother wanted to do it for some reason. I was like, okay, then let's see how good your acting is. And then he was just, oh my days, it was so bad. It was so
His
bad. It was funny. Exactly.
It was like-
I'm not happy. I'm
Behind.
not happy with my video. I'm not gonna lie. I went around the whole day, throughout the whole house, trying to scare everyone, and then like I'm busy just chilling out watching WandaVision new episode, and then I see someone in the corner of my eye. Bah!
That's funny.
It wasn't even that
That's
scary.
embarrassing.
That's
Yeah.
what's so embarrassing
Lex,
about it.
did we remember
Embarrassing.
last week when you screamed as well?
Yeah, but
Last
that
week's
was like a
video.
Oh,
proper,
right, yeah.
like, he came up to me and, like, shouted.
I agree
Yeah.
with you. No, I think what's funniest about Malachi is that he spent the whole day trying to scare his family, and then his dad films. Then his dad
First
gets
time.
him.
To be fair,
First time.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was quite
It's alright,
funny.
bro.
Minus 1,000
I did get my
No,
Vikings.
no, none of
for-
that.
You guys are haters, man.
Fear
You
not.
guys just
New
trying to stop
series.
us.
Fear not.
All right, so we're going to move on. It is time for our Kahoot. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to say goodbye to some of these guys. Thank you so much for hopping in with us. And we're going to jump straight over to Kahoot. So get your phones ready, because we are going to be playing. Now, the prize for winning is 2,000 points to your team.
Because it is double points.
There we go. Let me get that up. 2,000 points for your team. Second place, 1,000 points. And third place, 500 points.
500, yeah.
500 points. So, yeah,
It's a lot.
it's a lot of points up for grabs. A lot of points up for
Could
grabs.
put you in the lead.
Could put you in the lead. So, if you follow the game pin up there, you'll be able to join. There we go. People
Happy
rolling.
Vikings.
Happy Vikings, feel that.
Vikings.
Aztec, come on, Aztecs.
Chris the Noodle. That is a funny name.
I wonder who that is.
That's definitely Chris Ward. Also, got the classic Kahoot bop on, because can't do a Kahoot without it.
Vike wins, wow.
I kind of thought that said Vic wins. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
let's call it Vic wins. Let's just not
No,
acknowledge
come
the
on,
name
let's
at
back
all.
the
Oh,
Vikings. Stop trying to
Clay
pretend
pot.
about
Oh,
the
Clay
Vikings.
pot's
The
in.
one and only Michael.
The
Clay
OG
pot,
clay
actually.
pot.
I was going to say infamous, but really it's just more famous.
Yeah.
If you don't know,
Yeah.
there was one time we were playing Among Us as a youth group, and Clay Pot got in. We were streaming it, trying to stream as a youth group, playing it, and somehow Clay Pot got on the same server as us every
Like
single
before
time.
anyone in the room got in, Clay Pot was in the room.
Yeah.
It's like
Clay
somebody
pot
in
was
the room
on
was
it.
sending the code. It's like a prank that we weren't in on.
I mean, he's an Aztec, so
Big up.
We're
Big
proud to
up,
we're
Clay
proud to have
Michael,
clay
right?
pot.
yeah, Michael. Shout out to Michael.
Absolute legend. Right, we're going to give you guys one more minute just to get your name in. Get ready, try
There's
and
some
win
really
as many
shocking
points.
Viking names here. Like I'm
Pro
not even
Viking. Vic
just
wins
doing it because
and
they're not my team.
The Vikings really showed up
VB
today.
Victorious.
Vala
Yeah,
Chai
okay,
the
there might be some shocking
Viking.
Viking names, but I don't see any Aztecs
M
or
Aztecs.
gladiators.
Is that Rachel Holloway?
Rachel's
She's called
here.
herself Radiator.
I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
Like a radiator that keeps you warm.
I'm just
That is
saying
funny.
this quiz is actually banging.
I know it's meant to be gladiator, but
Let's
I'm
have a
not
look at the
taking
comments.
it as that.
We've got
Viking
Malachi
Pedro.
predicting that the Vikings are going to win.
Nah.
Are you sure,
Chris
Malika?
Ward chatting at the gladiators.
Okay. Z pronouncing
Wait,
from-
what is that?
Gladiators.
Ade
I'm
said
loving
Uno
that.
reverse card on Malachi. Oh, it's about the jump scare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was about. Alright, there we go. We've got some Aztecs in. Okay, we're going to start this
That's
thing.
smart.
Yes, we are.
Here we go. Alright, XY Kahoot, double points.
Double points. Here we go.
Alright, here we go. 13 questions. First question. Which team is currently in last place?
I feel like not to be rude to the team, but that's quite easy.
Last place. Oh yeah, I gave this question like 0 time to answer.
Oh yeah.
Everyone got in, I
They
think.
got it. Gladiators.
Come on, who's the
that is the
Aztecs?
right answer.
Right. Whoever put
Gladiators
We can
are
do better,
absolutely
guys.
bombing it right now.
I mean,
can
for the
do
people
better.
that said Aztecs, I really just want to thank you in this moment for the faith,
The faith. Alright, let's
choosing
see.
faith over fear.
Oh, I'm loving that. We've got some Vikings at the top. VV Victorious. Valakai the Viking.
That's terrible.
Radiator. Chris the Noodle and Claypot.
Clay Park.
Legend.
Clay pot?
All
Clay
right,
pot
here
is
we
an
go. Question number
Aztec.
2. Emoji sentence. Who is this? Now, this is a sentence made out of emojis. You have to try and guess who it is.
Foot.
Ah.
I think it could be Futima, you know.
Ade. Yeah.
That
Ade,
took me
I
way
feel
too
like-
long to
I like
figure
it.
out.
Ade.
Yeah, like first toe, first letter of the alphabet, and then
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Day.
the knee.
Denny. Disney.
It is, of course, Tony. Toe and knee.
Tricked a few people up though.
Yeah,
Are
that was a
people
little bit
actually-
genius from me.
I feel like people are just trolling by putting Ade and Fatima.
I liked Fatima.
Okay, here we go. Oof,
Oh,
shaking things up.
two
J.A.
Aztecs are now on the board.
Aztec.
Aztec smoking it up to 5th. Here we go. Question number 3. True or false? Fish cannot blink.
I swear I've seen a goldfish blink at me once. Maybe wink. It might have been a wink.
That is an ugly fish.
That is an ugly fish.
That's the ugliest fish I could find.
I really was tempted
actually
to
don't-
compare it to someone in that moment.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
But then-
What are we teaching our
Could
have
young
gone
people?
wrong.
But then I
Oh
thought-
my days.
That's not very nice. Because
Yeah.
I
Okay.
usually be like, is that you?
True or false? Fish cannot blink. 5 people got that right. Mad.
8 people.
I mean, how you
Let's
know?
hope it was
Don't
the
you-
Aztecs that got it right.
This is the problem with the school system. They don't teach you what you need in the real world.
In the real world of Kahoot.
No, just kidding. Fish cannot blink. All right, here we go. Oof. Okay.
Play pot on the rise.
Let's
Look at
go.
it. This is a.
Let's go.
I see a lot of Vikings though. That's what I'm liking.
No,
There
I
are-
see Aztecs in second and third.
I see
You got
two
Vikings, come
Aztecs
on now.
on the podium. Just
Come on,
saying.
gladiators.
On the
We can do
podium.
better than this.
Oh, Natasha, I'm sorry.
I still
No, it's bad.
believe in our
All-
team. I still
It
believe.
is all Aztecs and Vikings right now in the top 5.
You know it's bad when the gladiator's going, come on, we
What?
can do better.
What is the name of this GIF?
Yes, what is the actual title of this GIF?
I don't know the answer.
Source of many memes.
No,
I
it's
think
fine.
I do know. But
I make this facial expression on a expression
I make this facial
on a daily basis. I would say.
Right there, Trump.
I'll make this China.
Expression.
China.
The name of this GIF is classic. Can you do it? Can you do the face? Z, I reckon you could do it. Let me see.
it's like, wait, he's like, I don't know. That was my best. Surprise GIF. No one got it
Zero
right.
people got it right. Oh my day. Yeah,
Wow.
surprise GIF.
That was
Yeah,
a hard
there you
question.
go. It's a hard question. This is for double points, so I had to make it tough. Obviously, nobody got it right, so
Wow.
it stays the same. All right, here we go. Another true or false. Among Us is the most downloaded game of 2020 Android. Claypot, I expect the right answer here.
I almost shouted it out then. That could have
True
given it all
or
away.
false?
Claypot, we are counting on you right now.
Yeah, man.
As an Aztec, you should be top of the leaderboard. I'm just saying.
Do you know what I love about watching our YouTube as well? Is that like the suggested thumbnails always crack me up. Like at the moment, I've got Ade the GameStop post suggested. 11 got that true. 2 people got it false.
Oh well.
11, yeah, I know.
Let's
I can't speak. Let's just.
Yes!
Let's go.
Got an Aztec
Aztec.
at the top.
Let's go.
Aztec
Rachel is
second,
back on the
first,
scoreboard.
And second.
Hold that little victory, gladiators.
Rachel is trying her absolute best. She's googling the answers.
We can still.
Is it
Aztec
the most
are in
downloaded?
first and second.
Here we go. What board game is this? Oh, it's a classic. If you don't know what that is,
That
Oh,
looks like a ready meal.
you've never been on holiday.
a ready meal. That is my.
It's like macaroni cheese pots.
This is the classic. Going into WH Smith in the airport
Yeah.
just to browse what games they've got.
But
and
this
then
is the
seeing
most inconvenient travel game of all time.
Yeah,
with
Oh,
the
yeah.
tiniest pieces.
All the
Nice.
pieces fall everywhere.
Yeah.
and it's always like 10 quid as well in the airport. What a rip off.
Aztecs still first and second.
Aztecs
Let's do it.
sticking it.
I'm so proud of my team.
Aztecs
Great job,
sticking
guys.
it. All right, here we go. Number 7, true or false? An octopus has 5 hearts. True
Aww,
or false?
he's cute.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
the
baby
cutest
It's
little
actually quite
octopus I've ever
adorable.
seen. Yeah.
Octopus
They
kind of
usually
freak
really-
me out.
Yeah, they're usually
Yeah,
weird looking.
They do.
They
But
taste
that one
nice.
looks
The
quite
massive
cute.
ones that like crawl about. Have you seen like an octopus
Oh.
on land trying to crawl back
Yeah.
into the
They-
water? It's disgusting.
The things that freak me out the most is like those giant crabs. They just look like enormous spiders, and it freaks me out.
Oof, another 5
Not
to 8
fan.
split.
They are gross.
It is in fact false. They have 3 hearts.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I googled that earlier. Oof!
Clay pot.
Clay
Yes.
pot. Wait, is
Rachel,
Michael an Aztec?
Chris.
Yeah.
We lost.
Aztecs at
We
the
lost
top.
that other. We lost our other Aztec. Right. I
Yeah.
can't speak today.
Rest in peace,
J.A.
J.
Aztec.
Aztec.
J.A. Aztec.
J. Aztec.
Who is that?
I don't know.
Jess Akin?
Yeah.
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 That would make
Yes.
sense.
As her single
What
rising
made-
star.
What
Pedro's
made Pedro's
phone.
phone?
This is the classic.
Ooh.
This is Josh Pedro's actual phone. Not now, but the phone that he donated to us so we could do the Pedro's phone slot.
Yeah.
What make? Is it Brick X? Is it the Brick Note 20? Is it the Brick 11 Pro Max? That's a personal favourite
Yeah.
of mine. Is it the Brick SE?
We'll find out.
Poor guy. He got mocked for years about this phone.
I know, but he took it on the chin.
Yeah.
He did. He took it like a champ.
And now he's the one wearing AirPods in the stream.
Yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
showed you.
Now he's got the fresh haircut. The
Yeah.
AirPods. Student loan changes the man.
He's commented, yes, only I know, in capitals. That's too good.
Of course, it's a trick question. I don't know what make it is because it's that old. So
But
yeah,
it's all about the speed that you answered that question.
good job. It's all about the speed. Yeah, the ability to just take a risk. No, I'm making it too deep. Good job. It's a trick question.
Diving
Clay
into the breach
pot.
already.
Hey,
Make it deep.
Claypot is still in the
Come
lead.
on.
Claypot's in the lead.
Claypot is in the lead.
Here we go. Question 9. Emoji sentence. Who is this?
Oh.
Who sleeps,
I think
who
I
sleeps
this
a
is
lot?
Who sleeps a
genius
lot?
question.
Who sleeps a lot?
Do you think that is totally not a giveaway? But it's all good.
What are the questions saying?
Who is this? Is it Chris, Pete, Sinead, or myself.
It is of course Z.
I wonder
Who
why,
vote? Why would you vote Chris? I feel like it's the people who are last
'Cause
anyway.
maybe Chris is a bit. Maybe Chris voted himself because he thinks he always sleeps.
Or
Love to
clay
see
Look,
pot.
nothing's changing.
Wow.
Love
Pro
to see.
Viking does have a streak though.
But are they on the podium?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not even close.
They might be catching up though.
Here we go. Emoji sentence. Who is this? This is my best one. This is my
This
best.
one's really good.
This is my best piece.
When
of
you were
work.
making this Kahoot, it took me so long to get this one because I was like, sodium? What?
Don't give many tips.
I'm not giving any tips, I just said sodium. It's written
Yeah, I'm
down.
kind of confused.
That's the...
I feel like I should get this.
Chris Ward's saying
Oh,
so easy.
I get it. I get it. Okay. That took me a minute.
A hot minute.
A hot minute.
My chair's so squeaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natasha.
I knew instantly.
Natasha.
You were like,
It's
it's I.
It is I. Alright, here we go. Ooh!
Wow.
Vikings.
There's 11 points between second and first.
That's tight.
Claypot, we
It's
need you to pull through right now.
It's all about top three. Everyone gets points in the top three. And I do
Come
see a
on,
Dragon,
Rachel. Come
an
on,
Aztec,
Chris.
and a
Rachel
Viking.
she's loving it.
This is tight. This is tight. Okay, here we go.
I
Up
believe
next.
in you guys.
Question 11. What year did this album debut?
Ooh.
That is, of course,
Never.
Stormzy, aka Andrews. I can't remember what. Hey, I don't even know what the letters stand for. I can't remember. Heavy is the crown. Heavy is the head
Yeah.
that holds the crown. That's it. What year did
Heavy is Andrew's head.
Heavy is Andrew's head. What year did this album
It's
debut?
one of my best edits.
Honestly, legendary.
That's honestly such a good Photoshop. That's crazy.
Oh man.
There were some funny ones when we did that. 2019. That is right.
I thought it was 2018, to be honest.
Yeah.
2019. It's close.
had no idea.
But
Yes!
no.
Come on.
Come on, Chris.
Back on
Come on,
top.
Chris.
This is
I
so
believe in
tight.
you.
This is actually so tense. There's so much up for
Chris
grabs.
the noodle.
What board game
Board game
is
is
this? It's a classic. It's an
Settlers of
Right, I
Catan
hope
is such a
everyone
good
can
game.
get
It's
this.
an absolute classic game.
Yeah.
Best feeling in the world when you get it right.
Oh, worst
in the
feeling.
world. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Especially this one. Look at that. That's a rough one.
That heartbreak is worse than the One Division finale.
All right, spoilers.
I didn't say
Oh.
anything.
Well,
I
We
just
don't
said
need spoilers.
heartbreak. Serious heartbreak.
I have to put a spoiler warning at the start of this YouTube video now.
One Division spoilers.
Okay, Snakes and Ladders, yes, obviously. Very easy one.
Very nice, very nice.
Yes.
No changes, no
Claypot
changes.
is
Come
still
on,
in the
Chris.
lead.
Here we
Mate,
go, last
continue.
question. Last question.
Emoji
sentence. Who is this? It's another piece of fine art
Oh right, that
Made on-
one's quite easy.
made on Microsoft Paint earlier today.
Did you actually make it on Microsoft Paint?
Yeah, I made them all on Microsoft Paint. I just copied the
Wait.
emojis and then moved them in the right
I
place.
have Photoshop. You could have used it.
why did you
Yeah,
do it
but
on
you
my
were working on your
Paint?
laptop. She was busy being an architect, so I had to be a youth pastor and use MS Paint.
Talent right there. We're recruiting you
it's
for the
the-
media team.
It's the
Yes.
effort that counts.
You know, our guest speaker tonight, right? It is called Kiva. He's actually a boss at media,
He is.
and he started doing media, doing Call of Duty montages. That's right. If you ever used to watch Call of Duty 360 no scope Tomahawk across the map montages, Kiva was one of those kids. They'd be like, "Oh my days, I hit a no scope."
I've got no idea what he's talking about right now, but
Neither
I'm
do I.
assuming it's cool.
We know.
Basically,
We know.
He's a lot
It's
better
okay.
at this than I am. It is, of course, Karen. K-E-N for new. Karen, who just joined our Sittingbourne team. She was on Church on Sunday and
She was.
she smashed it.
Absolute
Yeah.
firecracker, that one. We love Karen.
We were so
Let's-
Yeah.
proud. We were like, yes.
Yes, Karen.
Karen's on our youth team.
Let's redefine what Karen means in this youth ministry.
Okay, right. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see the
up
leaderboard.
next is the leaderboard. Here we go. So, are you ready with the points?
I am ready with the points.
Double
I'm
points,
nervous.
Cody.
Oh.
Third place is Valakai the Viking.
So there's 500
That's
points.
500 for the Vikings. VV Victorious, which I'm assuming is a Viking. And in first is... Claypot.
Let's
Get
go.
in.
Wow.
Claypot has done the
Claypot.
job.
VV Victorious, can you just confirm you're a Viking in the chat? That's what I need. I just need confirmation. A little bit of Viking confirmation. Right, let's get rid of that. See you later. Boom. Yeah, I just need confirmation that we'll have some lo-fi back in. Oh, zooms. Yes, VV Viking. Who is that? Does anyone want to? I'm assuming it's a Viking.
I'll claim it.
No, it must be a Viking. Well, we'll just hold on to
Aztecs
those
will claim the
for
points.
now. No, we'll just hold on to VV.
VV Victorious
VV Victorious.
was in 3rd position.
VV Victorious was in 2nd. Valakar the Viking was in 3rd.
Valakar the Viking.
I'm assuming VV Victorious must be Viking. Sure.
Beth.
Hmm.
I was Viking.
I was Viking. Oh,
you.
Tony.
Wait,
It was Tony.
Oh, it was Tony. Okay.
Right, so that puts the scores at.
In 3rd place. Oh, I did that wrong. In 3rd place, we have the Gladiators, still on
You need to give the Gladiators 2,000 points.
1,010. In 2nd place, we have Tex with 3,510
Let's
points.
go.
In 1st place, still on top, but all could change, is the Vikings. And I'm going to do some quick maths here. It's 6,010 points.
Come on.
Wow,
bring up
they
the
are pulling ahead.
Vikings. Let's go.
Wow.
Yes, that was double points, and it was all to play for.
All to play for.
It was good.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed that, just put a little comment saying like I was sick, because it took me about 10 minutes.
If you want to see some more of those emoji sentences on our Instagram,
Yeah,
figure
that's
out
a sick
through the
idea.
week, let us know.
Yeah,
Give
I
us
can make more on
ideas.
Paint today. If you need more on
Paint,
emoji sentences,
nice.
Specific
I will load up
Paint.
this Paint.
Right now,
I'll make you the goods.
live,
like you get those tutorial videos.
like Bob Ross
Yeah.
painting on YouTube.
So what I do is anyway.
Put it in
so
the trees.
sidetracked. All right, so now we're gonna head to our amazing XY band. After that, I'm gonna be introducing our guest speaker, Pastor Kiva Till. So I want to encourage you right now. Worship is a time in which we turn our focus to Jesus as the air filter because it's so randomly loud. But worship is the moment where we turn our focus on Jesus. So I don't know what kind of week that you've had. I don't know where you're at. I don't even know if you've ever had a moment where you've experienced God's presence before, or maybe you're just feeling really far from God right now. This is the moment. This is the opportunity for you to just focus on Jesus. Normally the way that I worship, I just close my eyes, I sing the words, I raise my hands. You can pray, you can sing, you can speak in tongues. But just take this time just to focus on Jesus as we sing the song New Thing with our ex-wife band.
These are the days that we prayed for. A stirring of faith has begun, and doing a new thing. Sing your love. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. I know. Sing your love. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. Your love is never gonna give up. You never give up. You never give up on me. I know. It's just you're not done with me. You're doing a new thing. You're doing a new thing. For all I've seen, I still believe you're doing a new thing. Yes, you're doing a new thing.
Amazing. How powerful was that? Jesus, you're not done with me. Such an amazing worship song. I really hope that God spoke to you. I hope that you felt God's presence. And I hope that you are excited and expectant. I really encourage you right now, get your notepads out, write down the things that Kiva says that really speak to you. And I just want to introduce Kiva because he is such a legend. He's been a friend of mine for a long time. Even though like technically in years we've not known each other that long, we like lived together for 3 years straight at Bible college. So I know this man. I know that he's a man of integrity, and I know that he's someone that really loves and cares for young people, because as a young person himself, his life was changed, and by Jesus, his life has never been the same again. And so I just pray right now that what he says will speak to you and encourage you. So why don't we welcome Kiva Till to the stream? Hey. There he is.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All
man.
right. I'm going to leave you to it. It's over to you. It's all yours.
Wicked, wicked. Amazing. Well, firstly, I just want to thank you, Alice and Alexa, for having me on tonight. What a privilege it is to be able to just communicate to your team and your young people. So a massive thank you. Hey, do me a favor, if you are watching live on YouTube, why don't you head over to the comment section right now and just spam it with your favorite emoji in appreciation of your youth pastors right now. Whatever that emoji is, give me some clapping hands, give me some fire emoji, give me some raised hands. Just show some appreciation for your youth pastors right now. Because let me tell you, you are so privileged to have these guys leading you in youth, people who genuinely care and support for you. So yeah, thank you, you guys, for having me on tonight. And Alice gave me a little bit of an intro there, just to kind of elaborate on that. Yeah, my name's Kiva. I'm 23 years old, and I'm currently the youth pastor at a church called Legacy Church in Doncaster, South Yorkshire. If any of you have heard of Costa del Sol, South Spain, we call it Costa del Donny, South Yorkshire, sunny Donny. That's where I'm at. I'm 23 years old, as I know Ellis from Bible college, studying there together for 3 years. Yeah, great time. I'm actually engaged. I got engaged last year, due to get married to my incredible fiance Nadia in September. So yeah, it's been a wild year. And really why I'm here, just to share with you over the next couple of hours is just, I'm joking, obviously. I'm not going to speak for a few hours. I'm going to be here for the next few minutes just to communicate to you guys about what my life was like before I made that decision to follow Jesus, and what it's been like after that. Because let me talk to someone listening this evening in the living room or in their bedroom. Following Jesus is a journey. Hey, maybe you made that decision to follow Jesus. Maybe it was this year. Maybe it was in the next couple of years, and you've gone through this year and you've had some real rough times. You've had some real tough times over the past year. Well, let me just encourage you and speak to you that making a decision to follow Jesus does not mean that you have to be okay all the time. It's okay not to be okay. Hey, maybe in the last year you've experienced some depression. Maybe you've experienced some anxiety. Hey, maybe you're beating yourself up because you thought to yourself, I made a decision to follow Jesus. I thought everything was supposed to be okay. I thought wasn't supposed to feel this way. Okay, let me just speak to you right now that making a decision to follow Jesus, Jesus does not say that the bad times won't happen. Jesus does not say that the lows in life won't happen. What he does say is that he is with you in those times, that he gives you the courage to go through the times when you are fearful. And so I'm just going to share my story over the next few moments. And I really hope it encourages some of you listening this evening. Um, I was born. I was thankful enough to be born into a Christian home. I mean, I had two incredible parents who loved me and brought me up in church. Pretty much, they took me to church every Sunday. Going to church on Sundays is just what we did. From when I was a little kid, when I was a baby, right up through youth. Going to church on Sunday was just part of the routine. Um, and I kind of stayed the same up until I was about, I want to say like 11, 12. You know, when you get to that kind of age where your parents trust you that if they leave the house, that you're not going to burn the house down in the couple of hours that they leave you alone. They trust that you can make a sufficient beans on toast whilst they're gone to feed yourself. I said that, but some of you are 15 right now, still can't make a sufficient beans on toast. Let me encourage you, get your cooking skills up. But yeah, so my parents got to that time where they would just leave me at home on my own whilst they went to church. Because to be honest, I knew about Jesus, but I didn't know Jesus. I didn't know who he was. Didn't have that personal relationship with him. And so, of course, I took the opportunity to stay at home on a Sunday morning and just chill, get a couple of extra hours in bed, just relax. And it was around this same time that one of the most pivotal things happened to me in my life as a child. And that was that my parents said they were splitting up. My parents told me they were getting a divorce. And I don't know if some of you have experienced this. I remember everything about it when I was told. I remember where I was. I remember what I was doing. I remember everything how I felt. Um, Let me just go into it a second. So I was upstairs in my bedroom. I had on my Xbox 360. What do you know about the Xbox 360? I was playing Call of Duty Black Ops. Give me some comments in the chat if you've ever played Call of Duty Black Ops. I know Ellis was talking about me doing Call of Duty montages back in the day. But that's what I was doing, probably quick scoping someone on Call of Duty. And my mum calls me downstairs and she sits me down and she looks me in the eyes and tells me that her and my dad are splitting up, that they're not going to be together anymore, and that they're getting a divorce. And you know, uh, I remember everything. I knew exactly what I was being told. I wasn't confused. I wasn't upset, and I didn't really know how to process it. So I just said okay, and I went back upstairs, back to Black Ops, and carried on playing like nothing had ever happened. But I tell you what, the one emotion that I felt, the one emotion that I tangibly felt, and that was that I felt angry. I remember feeling anger. And over the next couple of years, because as a 12, 13-year-old, I couldn't really process that. I had this anger inside me that began to outwork itself. And you know, negative emotions work like a magnet. I don't know if you've ever been in a room where the negative people just seem to find each other. Negative attracts negative. And so that was what happened to me. I naturally began to gravitate towards people who also felt that same kind of anger. And it began to get worse and worse. I began smoking weed. I began drinking alcohol. And I remember I got involved in gangs. I mean, at the time, we didn't see it as that. We were just a group of friends. But I was carrying knives and weapons and doing all kinds of things and getting in trouble with the police. And, you know, it all kind of came to a point. I remember one night where things started to change. Is me and must have been about 20 of us, 20 friends, all decided to hit up the park. That's what you do when you're like 15. You hit up the park, and we were drinking and smoking, and someone came running over and they told us about a house party that was happening in the area. And so we weren't invited, but we thought the best idea would be to go and crash the party. And so we rolled up to the party, and my friends jumped over the fence and started fighting with people inside. And the owner of the house party came out to the garden to stop it. And that's when two of my friends stabbed the owner of the house 4 times. They stabbed him 4 times. Now, thank the Lord he survived. He ended up being in a coma, but he pulled through. And it was chaos. Everyone ran, everyone got off, everyone got home. And we were young, we were dumb and naive, and we just thought it would all blow over. We thought it would all blow over. And so that night we just said, all right, we'll sleep it off. We'll go to bed, and everything will be fine in the morning. But sure enough, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I had armed police officers at my house arresting me on suspicion of doing it. Sure enough, everyone who was at the scene had been arrested. They snapped everyone up, and I was arrested. And you know what I remember? I remember being arrested in my living room, and because I was young, because I was still just naive, I wasn't really scared about what was going on. But I remember that my mum cried. I upset my mum when I got arrested that morning. I remember seeing her cry. That was the one thing that affected me. I've always had a great relationship with my mum. Um, and that day I went into the cells. They took my clothes off me, took my DNA fingerprints, interviewed me, and I was eventually released on what's called bail. And it means like you're free to go, but they're still investigating you. And I had all these bail conditions, man. I wasn't allowed to visit the same location, speak to the same friends. I had a curfew, and my mum kind of didn't really know what to do with me at that time, you know. And thank God for faithful parents. Hey, if you've got some faithful parents that are praying for you, thank God for them. Because my mum was always praying for me. My mum invited me back to church. And I think she was just desperate. She didn't really know what to do with me. And so I kind of just went just to please her, you know. I just kind of went just to make her happy. So I went to a service one Sunday, and I remember I sat down at the back, like my hat down, my arms crossed, and I don't even really remember what the preacher preached about or what the music was like. What I do remember is after the service finished, I remember a young guy coming and approaching me and chatting with me and talking to me about things that I liked about football and stuff. Just a cool person. And I don't know if any of you can relate, but I used to think all Christians were a bit weird, man. I didn't really think Christians were normal. I thought they were a bit wacky. But I met a Christian and he was normal. I met a Christian, he was cool, and he related to me. So you know, a couple of weeks later, I ended up going back, not really for anything else, but to meet this guy and to chat to him. And you know, as time went on, I began to trust him a little bit more, and he began to show me Jesus. I began to trust in him. I began to show him who I really was, and began to tell him what I was going through. And he began to tell me that Jesus has a plan for me. He has a better future for me, and that he's forgiven me for everything I've done wrong. And you know, he sat with me and he would pray with me about what I was going through, about the situation that I was going through. And I remember not so long afterwards, I got a letter through the door, and it said that all my charges had been dropped and that I was released and I was free to go. I sat and thought to myself, I thought, maybe this prayer thing works. I thought, maybe this Jesus thing really is what they say it is. And so I kept going back. Hey, I didn't understand it all. I didn't know everything, but I kept turning up. Hey, if you're listening this evening, let me encourage you, keep turning up. You might not understand it all. You might not know all the answers. You might not have it all figured out, but keep turning up. Keep asking questions. Keep knowing more, because there is a God in heaven who is calling you in, who is calling you in. And eventually, I made the decision to get baptized and give my life to Jesus. And it was just such a journey, a day-by-day decision. Let me tell you that it is not an overnight thing. It is not an overnight thing, that it is a daily decision to follow a God who loves you. And maybe you've never heard that before. Maybe you've never heard that there is a Father in heaven who loves you. And maybe you haven't had a father figure in your life. There is a Father in heaven who calls you his own. He calls you his own daughter. He calls you his own son. It doesn't matter about the things that you've done wrong. He just wants you. He calls you his own. He claims you. And you see, as time went on and I continued to make this decision, I remember I started to slowly change from the inside, because see, when I made the decision, I still had the same friends. I was still doing the same things. I was still smoking weed. I was still sleeping around. I was still doing all these things, but I knew I began to change from the inside. And I remember one night, I was out with my friends, and we were still getting up to the same stuff. And we ended up robbing these two guys of what they had. I think they had like a phone and a pouch of tobacco, and we took it. And in that moment, I felt this deep conviction that actually, this isn't the life that God has for me anymore. That God has called me to new things. And so I was scared in that moment, because I had this conviction that I actually wanted to give the things back to the guys that we had taken from. But all my friends were there, and I was scared. I had this fear. I know we're talking right now about fear. And I had this fear, but let me tell you, God doesn't say there won't be fear, but he says he'll be with you in the fear. And he'll give you the courage to overcome it. And so what I did is I get all the things and I gave it back to the guys that we'd taken it from. And that was when I know things were starting to change. Things were starting to change. And let me encourage you this evening that it all starts with a decision. It all starts with a decision to follow a God who sent his son down to this earth for you and for me. that actually there was a man named Jesus who came down to this earth 2,000 years ago with one thing on his mind, and that was you. And that actually, I don't know if you can relate to some of the things that I've been through. Maybe you have a very similar story. Maybe you found yourself involved with the wrong people. But all it takes is just one moment. All it takes is just one decision. He's not looking to fix your attitude. He's not looking for behavior modification. He's just after you and your heart. And I really feel like tonight, I want to give people that opportunity. Maybe you've been hearing some of the things I've been saying and talking about this Jesus. Maybe you're thinking, yeah, you know what? I might want to give that a go. Maybe I haven't got it all together. Maybe I don't know all the answers, but I want to keep turning up. And I want God to enter my heart. I want what God wants for me. Let me say tonight, I'm going to give you the opportunity. In a minute, I'm going to give people the opportunity to make the best decision that you will ever make. Hey, I made that decision 8 years ago and I've never looked back. It does not mean life will be perfect, but you have hope in every situation, in every season. Hey, I'm speaking to someone tonight who over the past year has had suicidal thoughts. Let me tell you that there's a God who loves you and he's calling you for better. He's calling you for more. But what I'm going to do right now in a second is I'm just going to wait for a moment. And if you're listening in your home, in your bedroom right now, I just want to give you an opportunity to respond. And what that's going to look like, it might seem weird when you're at home in your bedroom, but I think there's a physical response that we need to do to signal to God, yeah, that's for me. So what I'm going to do in a second, I'm going to count down from 3, and if that's you, you want to make that decision for the first time tonight, this evening, I'm just going to ask you to, I can't see you, I can't see what you're doing, but I want you to just raise your hand wherever you are. Just stick your hand in the air and signal to God that, yeah, that's me. I want that this evening. I'm going to give a minute and I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to invite God into your life. So if that's you, why don't you just raise your hand now in 3, 2, 1. Come on, Jesus. Raise your hand if that is you. If you want to invite Jesus into your life for the first time this evening. A new life of forgiveness, of truth, of hope, and of love. And I'm just going to pray. If that is you, if you raised your hand this evening, yes, the best decision. I'm so thrilled. That is the best decision you will ever make. But I'm just going to pray and invite Jesus into your life right now. And hey, why don't you say this prayer after me? Why don't you repeat after me? Dear Lord Jesus, I'm sorry for the things that I've done wrong. I invite you into my life. I invite you into my heart. I don't know all the answers. I haven't got it all figured out. But I put my trust in you. Put my faith in you. Come and be the Lord of my life. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. Hey, if you made that decision this evening, that is the best decision you will ever make. Hey, why don't you put in the chat? Hey, everyone, why don't you put in the chat just some clapping hands emojis for anyone who made that decision? That is incredible. Let me encourage you. The journey does not stop here. It has just started here. Why don't you reach out to your youth pastors, Ellis and Alexa, or the team, and tell them that you made that decision, and you are going to embark on the best journey of your life. I promise you. I promise you. But it has been fantastic to have this chance to speak to you tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I'm just going to invite Ellis and the team back on the screen.
Hey,
there we are.
Here we are.
There we are.
Here we are.
Fantastic job. That was so
Very
good.
good.
That was so good.
Very, very good.
Keith, your story is so powerful, and I love the way that you chose to face your fears. Like, I can't imagine how scary that moment was where you were like, nah lads, listen, I know I've just copped an iPhone, but we need to give it back. Like, what was running through your head in that moment? Like, were you sweating? Was you like Eminem, knees weak, palms sweaty?
Yeah, man. You know, it is scary because when you're in that life, you've got certain expectations. I don't think in my own strength I would have had that courage to overcome the fear, because it was fear, no doubt. It was fear because you think, what are they going to think of me? Like, they're going to think I'm soft. But when you've got the Holy Spirit and Jesus inside you, it gives you that courage just to overcome things you wouldn't normally be able to. And so I did it, and you know what? I didn't even think twice about it. Wasn't even worried. It was mad.
Yeah, that's awesome. So good to have the Holy Spirit to guide you in those sorts of situations. So
exactly.
I'm going to throw this question out to Tony, actually. First of all, I'm going to ask you, Tony, tell us about a tense or scary situation that you have been in before. Fill us in.
Okay, so when you said this to me earlier, I was thinking about this and I'm like, okay, there's quite a few that I can choose from because my life into these situations. My sister Terry, we're gonna start. I'm not natural friends.
Tony, I think we're having a problem with your audio. Sorry, 1 second.
I think you might want to just ditch the headphone, maybe.
Or maybe just like hold it up to your mouth. We'll see if that works.
Now?
No. Sounds like you're doing a
alright.
Stephen Hawking impression.
Do I?
That's not even working.
I think it's more that it's just cutting out.
Alright.
So you might just want to pull
Okay.
it.
We'll give Tony some time to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's probably better.
Yeah.
I'll go again. Feed.
No.
Lola.
Sorry.
We tried.
Alright.
We tried. I'm so sorry, Tony. I don't know why, but technology has failed you in this moment.
It's all good. We'll give you some time to try and figure it out.
I'll give you a couple seconds to go and figure it out, and I'll add you back in after.
I'll throw this question to you then.
Yeah, I guess in the meantime, I will tell you about my scariest moment. I've had a few, actually. A few. But I think my scariest moment, I was on mission in Poland. Extraordinary Youth, we did a mission to Poland a couple of years back. Now, I'm terrified of spiders. I hate spiders. Never liked them. They're all 8 legs and creepy. It started my fear when I was a kid. My parents live out in the countryside, and there was this one time where a spider crawled on my face, and that was it. From that moment on, I would murder any spider. And the worst part was my mum was like, "You have to keep the spiders alive." Like she'd make us like put a cup over them and like keep them alive.
Not
Which I
about
thought,
that
what's all
life.
that about? Parents, man. Anyway, right? So we go to Poland. We're doing mission, like we're praying for people, preaching. It's all sick. We're going to the orphanages. We're doing like all these programs we prepared. And then the pastors come to us and they pick 5 of us, 5 lads, and they're like, "You guys come with us. You don't tell us what's going on." And they take us down to this like dark, damp shed, right? And the guy says to me in like broken English, "Collect wood for old lady." And I was like, all right. So we open up the door, and all in the door frame are these huge spiders. I'm like freaking out, and everyone else around me was too chicken to do it. Too scared to do it. So I had to go in there, and it's dark, right? So there's spiders all over the walls, all over the door frame, and I'm reaching into the dark, this dark pile of logs, and I'm literally there inspecting every log before I put it in the bag, so that I don't have a massive spider all over me.
That's not okay.
No, it was a bit grim.
You faced your fears though. You
I
did
did.
what other people would not.
I did, but I screamed like a girl the whole time. I'm not gonna lie.
I can imagine.
It wasn't like this manly moment where I just like, yeah, I've got this.
Yeah.
I was literally freaking out the whole time.
Nice.
So
Very nice. I think my tense or scary moment was probably, what year was it? I think it was 2019. And me and Ellis were going over to Australia to visit my family. We had to fly through Zurich and then Hong Kong, and then we'd land in Sydney. So it was a long flight. It was a lot of sleepless hours. And we land in Zurich, and we're about to go through security. And Ellis turns to me and he goes, "Do you have my passport?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's your passport, it's got your name on it. I'm not your guardian." And we end up having to empty his whole bag onto the floor of this airport. And it takes us about 10 minutes to look through this bag. He's put it in his side pocket. You know the pocket that you put your water bottle in? For some reason, he's put it in that pocket. And so we had these 10 minutes of freak out, like, we're going to get detained in Zurich because Ellis does not have a passport. It's probably one of my tense moments.
yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Thanks for that. What about you, Kiva? Anything you want to share with the group?
Yeah, actually, Ellis, you know this story. I think you've heard this one before. like in terms of like tense moment, there was a story when I was in secondary school. We had these vending machines, right? And these vending machines, they like dished out Yazoo milkshakes, all the flavors
The
you could
classic.
think of, all the milkshakes. Obviously, like, I don't know, like a pound or whatever. But me and my friends figured out that if we shook the vending machine, that milkshakes would fall out. And so like we devised this plan, this super plan, that when like the lunch bell went and everyone went back to lessons, we would hang around in the dining room and steal, let me say it for what it is, steal some milkshakes from the vending machine. And so we did, it went smooth. We shook the vending machine and we took loads of milkshakes. It was wonderful. But later on that same day, the headmaster called me into his office and said, what do you know about these milkshakes? And obviously, like a good Christian, I denied it. I denied it so heavy. And then he's like, all right, we're going to get your mum into school and we'll talk to her about it. And like, I'm scared of my mum. I'm petrified of my mum. So I was like, all right, cool. But I was keeping up the story. Like, I didn't do it. So me and my mum went to the headmaster's office and they're like, okay, so did you take the milkshake? I'm like, no. And he's like, right, well, there was a CCTV camera pointing right at it. And I was like, yeah, no face, no case. Like, it's not me. It's not me. and then he proceeds to pull out of like his wallet 3 photographed like pictures from the CCTV camera. At this point, like, I'm like, oh no, like the gig is up. Like the gig is up. Now my mum is like burning holes in the back of my head with her eyes, and like he whips down each photo individually. So first photo goes down, it's me like on the lookout in the canteen. Second photo goes down, it's me like shaking the vending machine. And then the final photo goes down, the final end of the coffee, is me running away with like an armful of milkshake. And like, yeah, I got battered by my mum. But that was tense because I knew the battering was coming. But I stuck it out to the end, man.
That's right.
That's actually so jokes. Imagine you just dashing down the hallway with an armful of yog-yogs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was so confident I was getting away with it.
That's too good.
Alright, I think we have Tony back. Tony, you there?
Classic Frony. Frozen Tony.
It's a dud, unfortunately.
It's
Poor
not.
Tony.
Not tonight.
I feel for Tony. She's prepped all these answers.
She's
If you
worked
want
hard
Tony's
on it.
answers to these questions, we'll get them next week.
Yeah.
We'll get them to film.
We'll do a little segment.
Send them in. Tony's questions and answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. But we'll get the answers. All right, what's up next?
Second question that I'm going to throw out to you guys. Kiva was talking a little bit about this past year, and maybe fear having a hold of your thought life. Maybe you have been feeling like you've got suicidal thoughts or anything like that. Maybe struggling with thoughts of going back to school next week, feeling fearful in that way. And I want to ask you guys this question. What does it mean to not give the enemy a foothold in my thoughts when it comes to fear?
That's good.
I'm going to throw it to you first.
Yes, I'm going to start us off actually with a bit of scripture, you know, a bit of the Bible. It's always good. Romans 12, chapter 2 says this. Romans 12, verse 2 says this. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. I think the mind is important. Like, what happens in your headspace is important. It's good to have a good mental. And I think it's definitely one of the first areas that the enemy and fear wants to take a hold. It wants to occupy your brain, because I think that's where all your decisions are made. That's where you decide if you're going to do the right thing or the wrong thing. That's where you decide if you're going to live in calling or you're going to be scared and run away. And so I think just like thinking about it practically, you've got to pray, you've got to worship, and you've got to tell your friends. You just sort of like to have a good mental to understand that I'm going to live a life full of faith. I'm going to live a life where I'm set in my mind that I'm going to follow God. I'm not going to allow room for fear. That comes down to sharing what you're afraid of with people.
Yeah.
I think as soon as you shine a light on something, like, it sort of loses its power in a sense. So if you're really afraid of something, tell people that you're afraid. And suddenly the fear doesn't seem as big anymore when you've got people next to you, people that believe in you, people that love you, people that could do things with you. I think we get it in our head that we have to do everything alone. And I don't know where that comes from, but it's not from God, because God does everything in team. You know, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, disciples, there's 12 of them, then there's 72 of them, then there's 1 million of them. Like, God does team, God does together, God does community. So having a protected mind, not allowing the enemy a foothold in your mind, comes from setting yourself up with good friendships, good community, talking to your leaders, your youth pastors, talk to us. I think that's the way you make sure that your mind is protected.
Yeah.
Because when you're alone, when you're isolated, and you don't tell people about what's going on in your head, that's when the enemy can convince you that it's just you, you're on your own, you can't tell anyone, otherwise they'll think you're a freak. You just get all these weird thoughts like you're just stuck with this, you're going to struggle forever.
Yeah.
And it's just not true.
It's true. Kiva, I'm going to throw the question to you now, if you've got anything to add.
I think like the funny thing about your thoughts is that you can't stop yourself from getting a thought, but you can control what you do with that thought. And to kind of be like Ellis and throw in a bit of scripture. I mean, I haven't got my Bible with me, so I can't quote it, but obviously the Bible talks about taking captive of your thoughts. And what does that mean? It means that when a thought comes in, you have the ability to control that, to control where that goes. Does that thought develop? Do you throw that thought out? So actually, someone might need to hear this tonight, that having a fearful thought isn't a bad thing. It's about what you do with that thought. Because you can't stop. All of us have all kinds of thoughts, bad, good thoughts, thousands of them a day. And you can't stop that. But actually, we can make a decision that when that thought comes in, you know what, I'm not going to listen to that thought. I'm going to take it captive. And what does God say about this? God says I'm more than a conqueror. God says he'll give me courage. It's about really taking captive of those thoughts.
Yeah, that's really good. I think it's so important, especially in this time that we're in. We're coming to the end of being in lockdown, but obviously we've all been isolated. We've all had to do school on Zoom. We haven't had that time with our friends. Like, it's easy to get so trapped in your thoughts.
I was thinking it's like the brain's mean. Like, I swear. Like, have you ever had a moment where like a waiter has gone like, "Oh, I enjoy your meal," and you're like, "Oh yeah, thanks, you too," and then you're like, "Oh."
You're sitting in bed at 2 a.m. like, why did I say that?
It's like 2 a.m. Your brain's like, "Do you remember that time where you said thanks, you too?" And it just goes round and round.
Or you called your school teacher mum.
Yes. Or one time, I'm about to embarrass myself real bad, right? In year 7, I got a detention and I cried. And my friend said, "Are you crying?" I went, "No, I'm just sweating from my eyes." Never. At 2 a.m, that one memory just comes back to me. "Sweating from your eyes," you said, "you idiot." And you just have those thoughts. They want to go round and round and round. But you're right. Take a hold of it.
It's true.
Give it to Jesus, bury it, do whatever.
We've touched a bit on my third question with our second question answers, so I'm going to throw this one out here to continue the conversation. It's, what are practical ways that we can choose faith over fear? And I think I'm going to start on this one.
Yeah.
And one of the main things that I do to choose faith over fear is I pray. So in certain situations, you might feel like you're alone, but actually God is there with you. And although it's not a person physically in front of you, he's always there for you to pray to him and to ask him for peace, to ask him to just make the fear subside in his presence. And I think it's so important that whilst we're trying to control our thoughts and keeping on top of having positive thoughts and not letting the negative thoughts guide our decisions, I think one of the great ways that we can do that is we can keep a great prayer life. I think that is so important. And in 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7, it says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." And I think what we were saying before about controlling your thoughts and taking them captive, giving them to God, that's one of the things that this verse is touching on in the Bible. This isn't just a Bible that was written over 2,000 years ago for people back then, but it's so relevant now for us. And God hasn't given us a spirit of fear, and in his presence we can find peace. And I think that's one of the really important things that we need to do in our lives. We need to have a good prayer life.
So good.
Yeah, really good. Kiva, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, so for me, there was a couple of years ago where, due to a certain circumstance, I was feeling super anxious about things. And a real practical step that I used to take is, I mentioned earlier when I was speaking, that sometimes we need to kind of do something physical to make something spiritual or something emotional happen. So what I used to do is, when I was praying to God, like you said, I would turn my hands out down like this, and I would say, "You know what, God, I'm choosing to release fear. I'm choosing to release anxiety. I'm choosing to release all the negative thoughts. And then I would turn my hands like this and I would say, God, I choose to pick up peace. I choose to pick up joy. I choose to pick up love and all these positive things. And I did that every day. I can't even tell you how long I did it for. I did it for months and months and months. I really noticed the difference. So I would, maybe it's just that one tip. Maybe someone listening needed that one tip. Try it. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's so good. I think my little piece of advice, I guess this comes from, if you're anything like me, you always want to be perfect, you always want to get it right. And so for me in my life, I've definitely found myself afraid of failure, which has caused the fear of trying sometimes. And so I've had to learn to just do it. Shout out to Nike. But not sponsored, but it's a genuine thing. You've got to allow yourself to fit. You've got to allow yourself to fail.
Yeah.
You've got to allow yourself to overcome this idea that if you fail, you're a failure. And actually, failing is part of life. It's a part of growing. It's a part of developing as a Christian. You know, God's going to set you up sometimes to take a fall so that you learn a lesson, so you understand something about His grace, relying on His strength. And there can be a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety about failing. And maybe that's you with your grades. Maybe that's you with your getting into this uni or that uni or this amount of UCAS points or picking this option. You're afraid if you do it, you'll fail. But you feel like God's called you to do it. I'm going to give you permission right now to fail as many times as you want, because the truth is God's always going to pick you up.
Yep.
God's always there for you, and God knows every time you fail, it's not a failure. You've already got the victory, right? If you said yes to Jesus, Jesus, I want to follow you, that's it. You're a winner. All right, shout out Winners Chapel. You're a winner right there in that moment. And just hold on to that. Allow yourself to fail. Allow yourself to take some L's. Allow yourself to be like, all right, I'm just going to go for this. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But if it does work out, it's amazing. Rather than sitting on the fence, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? If I do, it could turn out like this, and maybe I shouldn't. What about this and that? So if you're anything like me, you've got to allow yourself to fail. That's going to help you get over fear. You choose faith by going, I'm going to choose to fail. Some of you just need to let go of that perfectionism that you're holding so tightly to. Maybe you feel like right now that your parents are going to punish you really badly if you mess up. I want you to know this: they love you, right? If you bring home a dud grade, they still love you. It's not going to change their love for you, right? It's not going to change the way they think about you, all right? I'm giving you permission to fail. I'm not saying don't try. I'm saying try and fail, try and succeed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'd be my Vikings. And like I said, Vikings don't take L's though. That's not true. We do. We didn't even win tonight, so I don't even know who's chatting. But I think that's it. That's everything. Thank you, Kiva, so much for your story, for what you shared. I love you, bro. It's always good to have you with us. And why don't you put in the comments right now if you want Kiva to move down south and to join Extraordinary You.
That was the reason we asked you here tonight, to ambush you at the end.
No, we'll be praying for you. Make sure you pray for Kiva and for Legacy Youth. Those guys up there, they're our family. Even if you don't know them all yet, they're our family. We love them. We are 100% behind you. And we know that we're going to see you at loads of stuff, summer camps, all that jazz. So this isn't the last. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you to all the team that made this happen. Thank you to Tony. You are a legend. I'm so sorry your device didn't work. We love you. So we are going to finish it right here. If you've got friends, which I hope you do, why don't you share the link? Why don't you share this link? Share the video, because that story really spoke to me, and I believe it will speak to those that you share it to as well. And that's it.
Yep.
Any last words?
Aztecs for the win. Woo woo.
You chose those last words poorly. All right, well, we will catch you guys in XY groups throughout the week and on Church on Sunday and then next Friday. Till then, peace.